Today we continue with the series of eternal judgment, which is the sixth out of the six foundational doctrines taught us in the book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verses 1 and 2. And those six foundational doctrines are repentance from dead works, faith toward God, the doctrine of baptisms, the laying on of hands, the resurrection of the dead, and eternal judgment. And so we're dealing with the doctrine of eternal judgment in this series. And we've reached a point in the series where we're dealing with what will take place with regards to unforgiven sin on the day of judgment of believers. And this whole section that we're dealing with is dealing primarily, is dealing with ourselves from all dishonor. Remain as vessels of dishonor in the great house. Do not get taken out of the house. Do not get discarded. They just become vessels for dishonor, because there are going to be tasks in the kingdom of heaven in the age to come that are going to be dishonorable tasks, and those tasks will be given over to believers who in this life have not cleansed themselves from all dishonor, and therefore will become and remain vessels of dishonor. But now let's get down to the practiced lifestyle of sin. Now, again, I need to emphasize in today's teaching that we're talking about person. And so, if you're walking in love, you really are not going to be struggling in this area at all. But I'm talking about Christians who are practicing certain of these sins, whichever one it might be, and are just not getting their act together here. And they've become completely blinded in this area. And they just think, well, I'm saved, and so the Lord understands that, it's not going to, there's no penalty to be incurred. Well, that's deception, because there is definitely penalty to be incurred. And the penalty that will be incurred is a loss of the eternal inheritance. And so, it's a very serious subject. It's not a happy subject.